Hey everybody! Due to the changing CRS score requirements for express entry for Canadian immigration, a lot of you are now looking for a 10 plus. Last year, most queries were about a 9 plus, now it's more about 10 plus. That is because the scores for a fact have changed. They are now requiring more points in a lot of areas, and doing CELPIP, doing your English exams is a great way to improve those scores. But when you're looking at CLB 10, you're looking at a CELPIP 10, and don't worry, it is still not the highest score. CELPIP 10 is 10 out of 12, so you do have room for some mistakes technically, but you should have no mistakes really. If you consider a 10 or higher, you should have perfect grammar, vocabulary, and everything. In this video, we're going to talk about writing and speaking though. And the problem is this. A lot of native speakers cannot score a 9 or higher. Why? And if you're one of those people, if you think you can go in the exam and write flawlessly, you make 0 grammar mistakes, you should get a 12. That's not how this works. You need advanced words and phrasing, CELPIP relevant structures, and range of vocab, flow of sentences, so many things to get you to that level. So I would highly recommend checking out all the links in the description to see how you can hit all those areas. They cover a bunch of videos and playlists. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the best phrases you can use, 5 of them, in multiple situations, and they will give you a good score consistently, and I'll explain why that will happen. So the first phrase you're going to see here is, it is apparent, it is ostensible, it is obvious. Let's talk about this. The problem that a lot of you have is you use I way too much, especially in my recent feedback. I have been pointing this out again and again. Don't say I in every sentence. It's repetitive, so you lose marks for that, and it's very basic, and overuse of personal pronouns is the most basic thing you can do. So if I have to say a sentence where I'm gonna be like, I think the park should have this improvement, you should say, it is apparent, or it is ostensible, it is obvious that the park requires whatever. Okay, this is a different tone. It is unique, it is advanced, and it will just help you get rid of your I's. Don't do too many I's. And let me tell you, in CELPIP writing task 2, the I's and the personal pronouns should only be limited to introduction and conclusion, because that's where you give your opinions. You use I. Body 1 and Body 2 should be in the essay format, where you explain with points which subject is better. And that's where you can really use these kinds of words. Now, all these 3 words, they are the same things. So it means obvious, apparent, and ostensible are the same things. Which ones should you use though? Use apparent or ostensible. Why? Well, if you've been watching my videos long enough, you know you're supposed to use advanced words, complex words that are not common in day-to-day. If you are super confused, you can use it as obvious, but honestly, it all means the same thing. So you can use the advanced versions. They all mean the same things. And if you have to use it twice, you can use this one time, and then you can use ostensible the second time. I don't think you would have to use obvious. You wouldn't have 3 variations of this. Okay, so use it in your writings and in your speaking. Whenever you want to give a fact, and you could say, it is clear that, just like how you express that, instead of clear, you would use some words that are better, that are on your screen. So it's just when you start a new topic and you want to explain it, it's a great phrase to use. Moving on, we have as well as or along with. Now, these are not advanced. These are not. But they are highly useful when placing them in situations, and I think in speaking it's very effective. In a sentence, this is a rule for you for English. You cannot use and more than once. If you do, it's called a run-on sentence and you lose marks for it. But when I'm speaking, I want to just naturally speak, right? So I'm going to say, I need to do a lot of groceries today, and I need to find some time for entertainment as well, and for my family too. So now you see, in speaking, it's hard to remember, did I already do an and? Can I place an and here? And you're already in this flow. You don't want to just stop and say furthermore. You cannot connect it. So what you can do is, well, I got to do a lot of groceries today, and I got to have some family time as well, along with playing video games, as well as having time for video games. So you see, in the last and, when I want to say video games, instead of using and, I can say as well as, and along with. Doing this gives me marks for using effective connectors, first of all, and not making the mistake of overusing and, which is a common mistake. This also helps me save my words in speaking or writing. Instead of starting a new sentence with a new connector and a new description, you can just insert as well as or along with at the end of a sentence and add whatever point you need to add. So it's very useful and handy. Note that with writing, along with are two words. Don't put it in the same word. It's a spelling mistake. So a common mistake there. Okay. Phrase number 3 is to lodge a complaint. Okay, two things here. One is it is a great replacement for I want to make a complaint or I want to register a complaint. Okay, it is more advanced, very useful because you get a lot of letter questions or email questions in part 1 writing where you have to complain about something. So that's very useful there. Great start. First impression for the examiner that, okay, this person is an advanced user. This is also mentioned in our templates. And if you haven't seen the most advanced version of our templates, then do check out our CELPIP 15-hour self-paced course in the description or in the shop link that has the most updated use of templates, examples, sample answers, and a lot more detail. You'll be impressed highly with the content. You can check out more details there in the description. It also comes with a money-back guarantee. Now, the second thing here is the word complaint. Huge mistake, huge mistake. Complain is a verb. If you complain to someone, you are complaining. That is without a T. When it is a noun, you are making a complaint. You got to put a T, okay? You got to sound it in speaking and you got to write it for your spelling sake in your writing. So make sure it's complaint with a T and it has your article A. So these are some common mistakes that I'm highlighting and at the same time telling you guys the best ways to score good marks, okay? Use that, highly effective. In speaking, you wouldn't really use it unless you get a question saying you got to complain, like in part 6, you got to complain to someone about something. There you might be able to use it, but it's really useful in writing task 1. Now, the next one is would prove to be valuable, or you could use this one, could serve as a valuable solution, or it could be a valuable alternative. Now, this is, again, the phrasing that we're using in any speech, in any topic in writing and speaking, when you want to say something simple like, this is a good option, or this is great, or I think it's a good tool. All of those things that I just said are so basic. However, if you use good phrasing, again, idiomatic expressions, good use of phrasing, advanced expressions are always appreciated by the examiner. Use these ones, would prove to be valuable, or if it's something that is a solution, could serve as a valuable solution. If it's an alternative, like in your part 5 and 6 speaking questions or in writing, you could say could serve as a valuable alternative. A very useful phrasing to use, and I'm sure you could use it at least once in writing and once in speaking, because there are so many places where you point out the advantages or benefits of something, and those are the words I mostly see. It will have advantages, it will have benefits. No, use these ones. They're way more advanced phrasing. Finally, the last one is a very good combination of adverb plus adjective. There's multiple versions of this. You can say awfully beautiful. So awfully is the adverb, beautiful is the adjective. And they're more deeply, well, we got the deeply here. There are more variations, but they are very less. Even right now, I'm having a hard time thinking about them. So they are very less in number. Hence, it's better to memorize them right here from your screen. You would have to express something. It would be either something that is deeply concerning, deeply adequate, deeply relieving. Could be a bunch of adjectives that you're using, but if you use deeply, plus any of these adjectives, depending on the situation, you would get the score for your range of vocab, which includes a good use of adverb plus adjectives, which is rare. People usually don't know how to use it, and that's why you should. Your writing should be unique, advanced, and be versatile with a good range, and this phrase will get you there. So if it's concerning, it's deeply concerning, adequate, Again, instead of using words like effective, use advanced words. Adequate is a better replacement of effective. Relieving if it's helping out and relieving some pain or trouble. Agitating, alarming. Disturbing, again, alarming or agitating, very similar. Detrimental, harmful, and critical is a good replacement for important. You can see all the adjectives even are put here to give you alternatives for basic adjectives that you can use deeply and, deeply good. But it sounds so basic when you use deeply plus good. It's adverb plus adjective, but it should be adverb plus adjective, which are advanced. Okay, so use a good combination of these depending on the situation, and a great way to practice is use this in a sentence, then use deeply plus adequate in a sentence, and so on and so on. Make multiple sentences with these as well as everything else that was mentioned in this video to score a CELPIP 10 plus. Do also check out our course in the description to see how you can easily get a 10 plus without much struggle and with clear directions. Please like this video, share, and subscribe as well. Really appreciate it. Thank you, and all the best.